Hey, John Jones here. Welcome to another episode of Tuesday Morning Coffee. Today we're going to talk about the new housing stimulus proposal that is out there. It's not in law yet. It hasn't been enacted, and it could change quite a bit or it could be thrown out. We're not sure exactly till this all goes down. There's going to be a lot of back and forth, I have a feeling, the next few days. But the way it stands right now, the proposal is to give any homeowner a $15,000 tax credit if they purchase a home in '09. Now, the way I read this, and some of my information is, it's all coming from online, so if I'm wrong, I apologize. I'll put that disclaimer out there right now. But the way I understand it, it is a $15,000 tax credit or 10% of the purchase price of the home, whichever is less. It only applies to a personal residence, and if you sell that personal residence anytime before 2 years, then you could have to pay some of the recapture tax back to the government. But it is a dollar for dollar tax credit. It is not it's non-refundable, so you don't have to pay it back, of course, unless you sell before 2 years is up. From the way I understand it, you can take the credit on your '08 taxes, or you can divide it up between your '08 and '09 taxes. I'm trying to think of all the different things about the credit. I like it. I think it's aggressive. I think it is. It's got some meat to it. I think it is something that will stimulate. I feel like right now we've got such an inventory of homes. We have to do something with housing. Just think about all the jobs that is affected by the housing market, and mainly we're talking about construction jobs, because construction, guys, has stopped in most of this country. Don't just think about, it's not just us realtors, it's not just mortgage companies, it's also the guy who works in the factory that builds the truss for the homes, the guy that drives the tow motor in the lumber yard, the guy that works in the factory that makes the asphalt shingles. So many people are affected by this, and so many people are out of work because construction has come to a standstill. And construction is not going to pick up at all until we get rid of some of this housing, and I think this is a great start. I think it's going to help people get off the fence. I think, we're already probably in the most attractive time I've ever seen to buy a home. Rates are low, 40-year low, prices are down, and now, hopefully, we'll get a $15,000 tax credit. So for those folks who were kind of sitting on the fence, didn't want to sell their home because they were worried about maybe they weren't going to get the 10 grand they were going to get 2 years ago, maybe hopefully this tax credit will allow them to take a step forward and go. And I think this is a true stimulus. I think this will stimulate. I'm for it. If you're out there in the real estate business, I think you ought to call your congressman or senator to show your that you're behind this bill, and ask them to consider it. Also, if you're just the average person in America who's not in the real estate business, I think it could be a great benefit to you if you've been thinking of buying or selling a home. And I do think this is a tax credit that will stimulate and put people back to work, perhaps, which will obviously put people or allow people to pay taxes again, and that will be a benefit to our government. So anyway, and to our economy. Thank you. Let's see how this thing works out in the next week or so, and maybe next week we'll be able to give you a report next Tuesday on if the bill got passed. So thanks a lot, and we'll talk to you next week. God bless.